This vlog is sponsored by Skillshare. Hi guys, welcome back to the Road to Van Life series, which will be your go-to for learning everything you need to know when it comes to starting your van life journey. I love sharing tips with you guys and helping you achieve your dream life, so what I'm going to be doing is diving deep into one topic at a time, where we'll chat about topics like setting yourself up as a digital nomad, finding a place to park up, designing your dream layout, and the horrid parts of van life too, like choosing a toilet suitable for you and where to put your waste. We'll also get to meet so many cool van lifers along the way, and I cannot wait. In today's episode, Sam will be joining us, as I've not had him on the Road to Van Life series, where we will be sharing our top tips for surviving van life in the UK winter. Now let me move over and make some space for him.
I didn't know you went to Hogwarts as well.
Welcome, yeah. You ready to share all your top tips with everyone?
Absolutely.
This is now my third winter in a van.
And this is my second, so we thought we'd share everything that we do to make the most challenging time of van life more of a breeze.
Yeah, and when we say challenging, we mean full-time in a van, sub-zero temperatures, where mould and condensation are lingering around the corners, and most days are so wet and windy you are cooped up in a box, and it feels a bit like this.
That's why I sleep with one eye open. These are the things that you don't see on social media, but we think you should know about before entering into van life.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's begin. So number one of the Survival 101 guide to getting through winter in your van is climatisation. I personally think you need to embrace the cold and put your heater on as last minute as possible.
We've got Nick off over here giving out the tips. Just to expand on what Nick said, really, the only reason as well why you want to kind of refrain from using your heater other than climatisation is power.
Yeah.
So obviously it uses a lot of power to keep turning on your heater every day when there's no solar in the winter.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're getting frostbite, put the heater on.
Yeah. So typically in my last van, didn't really turn the heater on properly like all day until December when it started snowing. I'd have the heater on first thing in the morning to take the chill out of the air, and then before I went to sleep, and then I'd use hot water bottles and things like that, but we'll chat more about them bits later. But that's just what I did, so I really did hold up until having to really rely on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as we went to Europe in October, we kind of missed quite a lot of the UK winter and
the
some
autumn.
of the horrible weather, yeah.
So we didn't get to climatise for a longer period of time. So
it was only since we hit France, really, when it went about -2, is that when we started to climatise, and it was a big hit. And
then we just put the heater on, but it was a very different story in Europe, because even in the winter they seem to get quite a bit of sun, so the solar wasn't a problem, whereas here in the UK you may find that you don't get any solar at all. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare, for keeping the wheels rolling. Skillshare offer inspiring classes for creative and curious people, and they came into my life at just the right time, just as I left my office job and was looking to up my skills in content creation. Members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes, and I've been taking full advantage. And now I'm joining Ira Marks' class, Illustration by Design, a guide to elevating your drawing skills. I have been loving Skillshare because I can access it from anywhere, like here in my camper van in the middle of nature. Most classes are under 60 minutes and are broken down into bite-sized lessons, making it simple for me to gain the skills I need swiftly and still give me the time to live my life. Skillshare believes a strong community is essential to personal growth, so if you want to tap into the support of fellow creatives who provide encouragement, communication and inspiration, all you need to do is click on the link in my description below. The first 1,000 people will receive 1 month free Skillshare Premium, so you can tap into your creativity too. Moving on to number 2, power.
Most people build their vans to rely on solar, but as we're aware of the UK winters, there ain't no sun. So we have to rely on other methods to obtain power.
Yeah, so we have a split charger, which we think is an absolute essential. For all of our winter essentials in a van, head to the description to find out links to all of those. But we've had a split charger in all of our vans, and what it does, basically, I'm going to just summarise it, is as you drive, the surplus energy from your van battery charges up your leisure battery. So yeah.
And it really is a game changer for how cheap they are as well.
We also have a mains hookup, although we rarely stay in campsites. We fitted one for those times we want to treat ourselves to unlimited power.
Definitely, and guys, they come in so handy when there's no sun and you don't want to be driving around using your split chargers to charge your batteries.
Yeah.
Instead of spending money on fuel, treat yourself to a campsite.
Absolutely.
Another gadget we have is this Jackery power bank. We use this as a power backup or for when we need power outdoors.
We work on the road, so it is a must to always have access to charge our phones and laptops. The Jackery has proven to be a lifesaver when our inverter broke in Ireland, so we couldn't imagine van life without it.
This unit can be powered by solar, but also 12 volt and mains. So this winter, we have been keeping it in the cab so we can charge it with the 12 volt as we drive.
So now, with our setup, whilst we drive, both our Jackery and our leisure battery gets charged.
Everything's being charged.
Everything needs to be charged all the time.
Guys, moving swiftly on to our third Survivor 101 tip, staying warm. This needs to be taken into consideration when building your van, as it starts with the insulation.
We have used rigid board on the floor and the ceiling and recycled glass insulation on the walls, and I think it's been working a treat. It's been really toasty in here, and we have stayed in -4 and not had the heater on overnight. The story is very different when getting out of bed.
You may want to consider how many windows you have too, as windows will make a space colder, although thermal blinds work a treat for that.
Next up is having a heater. I think if you are living in your van full time or looking to do trips all year round, a heater is essential. Not only to stay warm, but to dry out your space and your clothes, etc. In my last van, a Vauxhall Vivero, I had a diesel heater.
But in this one, we went for an LPG one, as it is more energy efficient and runs off of gas, not diesel.
I think in a small space, a diesel heater is your best bet, as it is a dry heat source. However, if you're in a larger vehicle, I think it's up to you. It's just whatever you want to prioritise, as it's much easier to ventilate the space.
Other ways to stay warm is to have hot water bottles, a nice thick duvet or toasty sleeping bag and thermal PJs.
Next up is tackling the dreaded condensation, humid air and mould situation, one that I have been a victim to. Yep, it was horrifying, but it's easily avoidable. So condensation is produced from the contrast of temperatures in the air, so outside is cold, in your van is warm, and then obviously us breathing and cooking and things like that, it all creates condensation that you typically find stuck on the window. We have been van lifing for 4 years as a total, so we're going to show you what we think are the best ways to reduce it at least.
Yep. We always keep the space as ventilated as possible, bearing in mind in the winter it is cold, rainy, and then of course you need to consider your safety.
We keep all of the windows open whilst we're in the van. We have the 2 front windows in the cab, which we open about 1 to 2 centimetres. We've got wind deflectors for safety.
Yep.
We've got our side window and our fan. And this helps all with ventilation and airflow, which is one of the mistakes I made in LL. And it was simply me putting my coats on the back of my van, which then blocked off airflow from the main part of the van into the garage. So there was no airflow, which led to mould.
Ventilation is key.
Yeah. Another mistake I made was there was a small piece of unpainted MDF. This absorbed all the moisture and got mouldy. So make sure all your timber is protected.
We also have dehumidified pots and bags around the van, which are a game changer. Look at how much it has collected in just 3 weeks.
Other than taking these steps to reduce the condensation in the van, we do let the rest of it build up on the windows.
We have seen some tips online about putting shaving foam on, but if you do that, then we're conscious that the condensation will then go onto softwood furnishings, onto cloth, etc.
Yeah, and that's where you can create mould. All you're doing is saying, sorry, you can't go on the window, you need to find somewhere else to live, and that's a problem. We'd rather leave it on the window so we can see it and sort it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a new motto, see it, sort it. So to sort the stuff on the window, you can use a window vac. We just use a cloth, or we just open the windows even more when we're awake.
Yeah, we just let it ventilate.
Yeah, let it air dry. So other than that, really, it is up to you, but I would prefer to see it and sort it.
Agreed. Tip 5 about surviving winter in a van is all about water, and for those of you who have their tanks on the outside, this is for you.
We would suggest to insulate your tanks with foil insulation. It's not much, but it does protect the tanks in general. We've also coincidentally got our heater near our water pipe, so thought we'd share our helpful mistake.
As this comes in handy from preventing our pipes from freezing.
And also means the water pipes heat up, so when we wash our hands we have some warm water for a little bit.
It's a bit of a tease, really.
Moving on to number 6, which I know isn't very easy to prep for, but it's really important you look after your mental health. Winter is already super challenging, and the long dark nights don't make it any easier. And personally, I've felt it before, and even we feel it as a couple. It can get really lonely.
So if you're struggling through winter, here are a few things that you can do to combat this. I think one of the main things is socialising, especially living in a van. Some of your childhood friends are now at quite a distance. So meeting other van lifers, get on the Facebook pages, reach out to people on social media. There's always people out there who in the same situation as you.
That want to hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to hang out. Like we even organise meets as well, usually every quarter, apart from when we were away. And that's to combat loneliness in the van life community. So if you'd like to join one of those, you can head over to my Instagram at Nick Rome. Sorry for the plug, but that's just where I organise it, because it's much simpler than doing it on YouTube, as you can actually message people on Instagram.
And that's how we've made most of our friends in the van life community, through your meetups and through Instagram. Yeah.
So I've found as well, like, Instagram's a really good vetting tool. So you kind of know whether someone's your kind of people or not, and then you know if it's safe to go meet them, because you can go through their profile and see what they're up to. So most times we've kind of reached out to someone we've spoke to quite a lot on Instagram, you know, Instagram friends, and then they've become real life friends, haven't we?
And they've all checked out.
Yeah, and I think it's just having the courage as well, because I think being far away, you're in a van, so you're travelling a lot, so you're far away from your friends, like you said, in your hometown. Yep. So sometimes you just have to kind of have the courage to put yourself out there. Yeah. There's also apps called like Meetup and things like that. I'm not 100% sure, but you can then meet other groups of people who want to go and hike. Yeah. But really the Facebook groups are great, because there's van lifers there, so you'll meet like-minded people. And then mental health, of course, exercise. You can go out in the winter and hike and things like that, but I appreciate the weather can be horrible.
It's difficult in the winter, even just getting out of bed sometimes. So you just got to have a bit of motivation to get out there, stick to your goals, and just keep going, really. Like, I've been doing the 10k challenge, and some days getting up is a bit challenging, but you just got to plod through it, really.
Not so much for you, really, is it?
The getting up part's not too
He's
hard.
such a morning person, and I'll be in bed till like late morning. But
do 5K
as I always
still
say,
asleep.
Nature soothes the soul. It really does. But if you don't want to go out, you can get a gym pass, or go to like climbing centres, as people have suggested to us, as we've been looking for new things to do in the winter. Swimming, and then you can also utilise their showers at the pools and the gyms and things like that. So yeah, I think again, it's not easy to prep, because mental health can just like creep up on you here and there. You can't plan, but at least you know in the winter you have to put in that little bit more effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So number 7, the final part of doing our best to help you survive winter in your van. We've got a few bits and bobs that we want to share with you that will help make it a breeze.
First up, this rechargeable hand warmer. Doubles up as a power bank too. We use this on hikes and also throw it in the bed to warm it up.
Next is this rechargeable electric fan. We use this mainly when cooking to help direct the steam out of the van.
And honestly, Onyx loved this in Spain, as it helped him cool down while relaxing or perched on the bed.
And I'd just cuddle him. I miss him so much.
I miss him too.
Oh god, I'm gonna like pulling myself together. Other things that come in handy are snow chains or socks. We had them last year when we were in Yorkshire Dales, and it saved us when we got stuck in the snow, didn't it?
Just one tip: learn to put them on before leaving.
Absolutely,
we didn't, which was stupid, and we knew we had to learn to put them on.
But we just left it anyway, and then you were putting them on in the middle of the night in the snow. It was freezing cold, but it saved our lives.
As well. And obviously, guys, if you haven't already, get yourself some de-icer.
We need to get some.
We need to start listening to our own advice. Yeah. And also, if you don't have these, sod's law, we've probably jinxed ourselves now. We don't have these, but if you can get a hold of them, they're grips that help you get out of mud or slushy and wet situations.
Yeah, we just don't have them because we don't have the space in the garage, but we have seen one of our friends, they've got them on the side door, which looks really cool. So maybe in the future we can look at that, and hopefully it will be before we get stuck in the mud.
Probably not though.
Yeah, and then next up is your tyres. We've got Agilis Cross Climates on ours. These are all-weather tyres. Rather than buying winter and summer ones, we just have all-weather ones, and they are amazing when driving around in the winter.
They are.
Yeah.
Finally, guys, if you don't have a shower or toilet inside, do look at ways to do this inside. Yeah,
because it is bloody cold outside if you're going to rely on showering outdoors. You did it in -2, but I could not. For a shower or wash, you can literally use a large bucket and portable shower or flannel. To toilet, we highly recommend a portable urinal so you don't have to go outdoors at night. And that's it from us, guys. I think you are ready to go.
Another wrap up.
Yeah, and I know that having such huge lists can seem really daunting, but honestly, van life in winter is a magical time of year. Having places to yourself and the accomplishment you feel when you see the first signs of flowers blooming is such an achievement.
Guys, all of these will end up becoming second nature, and you'll end up finding what works for you and your space.
And we really do hope all of these tips help, and if you've got any of your own, let us know in the comments below, because we'd love to know.
It's that time again. Let's wrap it up. You know what to do? Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And
also, we have started up a channel membership, so if you're interested in joining us over there for some perks like early access to our videos, go check it out in the description below or click the join button below, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Ciao. Guys!
Guys, just a side note, we are not accountable for any of these tips if they go wrong.
You don't know us, you don't even know where you got the tips from, it was nothing to do with us.
Nick,
now
who?
Let's go.